Hello, my name is John Kelly, and this is the Weber Auto YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you the new NVH app vibration analyzer in action. I'm actually going to use it to go on a road test and detect a vibration in my van that I drive. And to begin with, we will start the app by clicking on the NVH icon. The first screen that comes up is a safety warning that reminds you that you should not drive distracted, and you're probably better off to have somebody else drive the vehicle while you use the app, although you can use the app without somebody else as long as you set it up before you start driving and then don't touch it again until you're done driving. So we will click agree. There are 4 icons on this screen. The one we are going to go with initially in this video is pick your vehicle. So we have to tell the app what vehicle you are driving. So this vehicle is a Toyota. So I'll scroll down in the vehicle list to Toyota, and then it's a 2010, and it's a Sienna van, and it's a front-wheel drive with a 3.5 liter engine. That information tells the app that it's a 6-cylinder engine and what the front final drive gear ratio is, what transmission it has, what the transmission gear ratios are, and when does this transmission normally shift under a light throttle. The only thing the app does not know is what size tires do you currently have on the vehicle. So down towards the bottom of the screen here, it wants to know your tire size. So you punch in your tire size. Mine is a 215 for the width, 65, 16. And if you're not sure how to find your tire size or what your tire size is, there's a link right here at the bottom of the screen that you can click on. There's a help file with a couple of examples of tire sizes, and then a photograph and information of where you can find what size tire your vehicle should have. And so you should be able to figure things out from there. So we will click done, and we are ready to start. So in the upper right hand corner of the screen is the word start. We will click on that, and right now we are ready to go on a road test. But there's a few things on this screen that I'd like to show you. First, you're looking at the top view of a vehicle outline, and you'll notice there's 4 tires, there's the engine, there's a transaxle, there's half shafts on the right hand side of the vehicle we have the front and rear tire sizes. On the left hand side of the vehicle we have the front and rear tire speeds, and we show front and rear because some vehicles have different size tires, front versus rear, and they would turn a different speed. We have vehicle speed in the middle of the screen. The vehicle speed is picked up off of your phone or tablet's GPS system. And as far as tablets are concerned, the iPad and whatever other tablet you may have, Android based version, when the Android version of this app comes out later this summer, that tablet has to have a built-in GPS receiver. Now, just the plain Wi-Fi only tablets do not have a GPS receiver in them, at least the Apple ones. So the only way that you can use an Apple iPad with this app is if you have the iPad that not only has wireless, but it has cellular connectivity capabilities. You don't have to have a cellular package. It's just that the iPads with Wi-Fi and cellular capabilities are the only ones that had a GPS chip in them. Okay, now at the top of the screen we have engine RPM, and you'll notice right now it shows the engine RPM at around 650, 670 RPM, and the words engine speed are in blue, and that's because I am connected to an optional Bluetooth datalink connector connection that communicates with the engine control module and gives me actual engine RPM. But if we go to the settings icon on the bottom right hand corner of the screen and turn off Bluetooth data link and hit done. Then we have estimated engine RPM, and we've been very careful at estimating the engine RPM as you drive based on how fast you're going, what gear you would be in for how fast you're going, and it's remarkably accurate. About the only vehicles that it has a little bit of a problem with, especially if you don't hold a real steady speed as you drive, are vehicles with continuously variable transmissions, CVTs. So if you have a CVT and you think you have an engine speed related vibration, there's an optional Bluetooth data link connector from Go Point Technologies that is certified for Apple products and Android products. I think it's the only one out there that's certified for Apple products. I might be wrong, but last time I looked, it was the only Bluetooth one that worked with Apple. All right, so by default, it assumes you do not have that Bluetooth adapter, and we are ready to go on the road test. So in the upper right-hand corner is the words, or are the words, start recording. So we hit start recording, and now all we do is just set this on the dash and go for our drive. So here we go. The vibration that I have, this van has a couple of vibrations. It has a vibration at an idle in gear, and it has a vibration at freeway speeds, 65, 70 miles per hour, in that range. Now, this van that I'm driving is a wheelchair accessible van. It has a ramp that comes out the passenger side sliding door, and this van has been modified to where the floor has been lowered, I think 11 inches, to make room for a wheelchair without scraping your head on the ceiling. And by lowering the floor 11 inches, they had to raise the suspension also. And to raise the suspension, it caused half shaft constant velocity joint angles to change from their normal. It caused engine exhaust system routing issues, and a few other changes to the physical body of the van itself. And so because of that, the constant velocity joints on the front CV axles, the half shafts, the inner ones, which are the tripod or tripot design, they can, under certain conditions, have an excessive angle, which would cause 3 shakes per revolution of the tire. So I've got a little bit of that going on, I believe, at freeway speeds. I have also added a wheel weight to the right front tire that should cause a tire speed related vibration, and the vibration that I have at an idle, I believe, is the exhaust system, and I'll explain to you how to identify all of those. But where they had to move the exhaust system, the exhaust mounts, the mounting, the rubber mounting of the exhaust system is designed to dampen out the normal engine vibrations that you would normally see. And by moving and modifying that exhaust system, it allows for some of the engine vibrations to be transferred into the passenger compartment. Now, in looking at the screen here of the app, any time the app detects a vibration of one of the rotating parts on the vehicle, it will cause that component to turn red and be flashing red on the screen. So if you have somebody else driving the vehicle and you're watching the app, then The tires would start glowing red if they were the source of the vibration. The engine would glow red if it was the source. If it was a rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicle and had a drive shaft or a drive line, it would glow red if it was the source of the vibration as well. So none of the vibrations show up at the speed at which I'm driving at the moment. So the engine speed vibration shows up when we're stopped. We're just stopped at a stop sign or stoplight, in gear, engine idling. It's made even worse by having the air conditioning on. The other vibrations are at freeway speeds, which I'm heading to the freeway right now. Now you'll notice there's a semi-truck, big Class 8 truck in front of us. This app supports not only passenger cars and light-duty trucks like that Ford pickup truck up ahead here, but Class 4 through 8 medium-duty and heavy-duty trucks. Those great big trucks still have tires that rotate. They still have drive shafts, transmissions, engines. They have all the same parts that smaller vehicles do, but they're just larger and might turn at a slower speed. But the principles of vibration diagnostics are the same. And so this app and the Bluetooth datalink connection works just fine on those heavy-duty and medium-duty trucks as well. Now, I have not talked about the placement of the iPad or the phone. The iPad or the phone need to be placed on a hard, solid surface as you drive. So you'll notice that I've got the iPad or the iPhone just sitting on the dash at the moment. It could be held against a window. It could be on anything solid inside the vehicle, the front of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. You can place it in one of the four corners of the vehicle to try to isolate which corner of the vehicle has the vibration. But the thing you need to realize is you cannot put it on a soft padded seat or on carpet and expect the results to be good. So it needs to be on a hard surface. Also, for best results, you need to be driving a steady speed. You should not be driving up a hill or down a hill. Try to find a place where you can road test the vehicle where it's nice and flat. You've got a nice flat area to drive. And I recommend, if the vehicle has cruise control, that you turn on the cruise control and just find the point at find the vehicle speed where it's vibrating and just kind of hang out in that speed for several minutes to allow the NVH app to acquire data that it'll use to analyze what is the source of the vibration on the vehicle. Now, while we're heading out to the freeway here, let's just do a quick review about customer complaints related to vibrations. Tires will spin the same speed driving down the road whether they are causing a vibration or not. Your engine will turn the same RPM whether it's vibrating or not. Your drive shaft, drive lines, half shafts, all your transmission parts, transfer case parts, and so on, they all spin the same speed, and it does not matter if they're vibrating or not. So that tells us that the rotational speed, which basically is the frequency of the vibration, is really not what the customer is complaining of. They're complaining of something called the amplitude. And everybody's familiar with amplitude if you've ever used a radio. When you turn the volume knob up, you have a high amplitude sound coming out of the speakers. When you turn the volume down, you have a low amplitude sound. So your job with the NVH app or any vibration analyzer is to go out on the road test like I'm doing now and find out not only what is the frequency of the vibration, which tells you which part on the car is responsible for the vibration, but the amplitude level of the vibration. And this app will tell us all of that. It saves it all as long as you told it to start recording as you drive. And then you can review that, you can email it. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. You can export it to a CSV file and open it in Microsoft Excel. But the app knows what the amplitude level is, so it'll record what the amplitude level was before you fix the vehicle, and then you go out on the road test again after you fix the vehicle, and it'll record the amplitude level again. And of course the amplitude level had better be lower, which you will be able to tell if the vibration is repaired because the vehicle won't be shaking anymore, or it won't shake as badly. And so your job is to basically turn down the vibration level, turn down the amplitude level, turn the volume down as with a radio volume. And if you do that, even if you cannot totally eliminate the vibration, if you just turn it down, sometimes customers will be so happy with you that you'll be their hero, and they'll bring all their business to you and have all their neighbors come see you and everything else. Okay, I'm just about to get on the freeway. I'm going to put just a paper napkin over the phone to keep the direct sunlight from beating down on it. And here we go. So the vibration, as I told you, shows up around 70 miles an hour. Here we are at 70. My steering wheel is shaking pretty bad. I don't know if you can see that in the video. The app should be detecting, yeah, it is a vibration. I'm going to turn on my cruise control and just hold it at this speed for a moment. My engine RPM on the tachometer is 2,000. My engine RPM on the app is 2,000. My vehicle speed on the instrument panel is 70, and it looks like 69.5 on the app. So we are holding a steady speed, driving on a nice flat surface. Got a little bit of a incline and uphill right here. But that's all you do. You bring the vehicle up to the speed of where it vibrates, let the app take some readings, and then turn around and go back to your shop. So we will take the next exit and turn around and go back. On the way back, as I mentioned, I will enable the Bluetooth datalink connection for exact engine RPM rather than estimated engine RPM. But as you can see here at freeway speeds, the engine RPM is exact anyway. By the way, the cord I have connected to the to my phone is not needed for using the app. That just allows me to record the screen here on my laptop computer. But you could certainly have your phone plugged in to keep it charged as you drive. This app by default will prevent your phone from going to sleep, at least on the iOS systems. We'll see if the Android systems lets us do that, but it'll prevent it from going to sleep. We don't want the phone to go to sleep while it's recording, or it'll stop the recording, which we don't want to do. But the flip side of that is, if you don't let your phone go to sleep, then it runs your battery down more quickly. So it's a good idea to keep a charger plugged in and take it with you on your road test anyway. Alright, I'm going to pull off to the side of the road here and enable the Bluetooth adapter. So we'll enable that by clicking on the gear icon, click on Bluetooth data link, we'll hit done. Notice the words engine speed now have turned into, or the color has turned to blue. So we will set that down. By turning blue, that indicates it's got a Bluetooth data link connection. And now let's drive back. Now once again, that Bluetooth data link connection is optional. You do not need it unless you for sure think you have an engine speed related vibration, and even then I'll show you another way that you can diagnose that without having to buy this adapter. However, if I was a full-time technician diagnosing vibrations, or a field service engineer, or a field technical specialist, or some sort of diagnostician, I would buy that Bluetooth adapter because it does make things a little bit more quick for vibration diagnosis, because you just never know, is it going to be an engine speed related vibration or not. Typically it's not. Engine speed vibrations are actually pretty rare. Tire speed and drive shaft speed are far more common vibrations. So notice now with the engine Bluetooth connection, we're picking up not only a tire speed vibration, but an occasional engine speed. Let me slow back down to the 70 range. So there's our tires, or tire speed. It does not mean it's the tires. And occasionally there was an engine in there. All right, we'll get off the freeway right here and review the results. So notice sitting here at idle, we've got the engine glowing red. So it will be interesting to see what which type of engine vibration it's detecting. And as I said, I've always had this vibration at idle. Because of this modified van. Alright, I'm just going to pull over right here and we'll review the results. Okay, we'll take the app, and in the upper right hand corner we will hit stop recording. At this point it's going to ask us for a name of the recording. I'm just going to call it my van and hit save. If you don't give it a name and you just hit save anyway, it will save it by the day and time of the day. So the date and time, it'll just give it that as the name. Now the dark screen and the swirling icon in the middle of the screen indicates that the app is reviewing and analyzing the data from the road test. And notice here that we have the diagnostic results, the automatic diagnostics. and it tells us that the diagnosis shown below is the primary vibration detected. Repair this vibration first and then retest for additional vibrations if needed. And it tells us in red text right there in the middle of the screen that we have a first order tire speed related vibration. Now, if you don't know what that means or how to fix it, then there's a button right here at the bottom of the screen where you'll click on how do I fix this vibration, and it tells us exactly what a first order tire speed vibration is and the 8 different things that you can check that can cause a first order tire speed related vibration. Each one of these has detailed step-by-step instructions. Some of them have videos, some of them or all of them have detailed diagnostic photographs, specifications, instructions on what to do, and it's a process of elimination. You check the first thing first, and if it's okay, then you move on to the second thing. And there are, as you can see on the list, there are 8 different things that can cause this, and each one of these, clear down to the least likely cause, is something that can cause the tires to have a first order vibration. First order just means that it's shaking one time per revolution. All right, also while we're here, at the top of the screen there are 3 buttons. There's the auto button that it defaults to. There's the totals button. So let's look at totals. The totals button breaks down the different types of vibrations that are typical on a vehicle like this and how many times they were detected. So notice under tire speed related vibrations, first order tire speed related vibrations were detected on our road test 618 times with an average amplitude level of 0.04. The second order were only detected 22 times, and there were some third order vibrations detected quite a number of times, 284, but by far the third order vibration or the first order vibration was worse. Notice that there were engine speed vibrations detected, but not very often. First order 27 times, second order 37, and third order 18. If we click on first order tire, just for example, it breaks it down in 5 mile per hour increments and lets you know at what speeds did it detect these vibrations. And so notice it in 5 mile an hour increments, from 5 to 9 it was detected 4 times, and then nothing again until 45 miles an hour, where it was detected 8 times, and then 6 and 12, then 373 times between 65 and 69 miles an hour, an additional 205 from 70 to 74 miles an hour, and only 10 times 75 to 79. So that's some interesting stuff. You can use this to verify that the app's analysis is what it should be. And I helped design this app. I was not the programmer for it, but this app gives you the results that I would give you with my 22 years experience in vibration diagnosis. It also has a graph that will graph the amplitude level in the y-axis in the up and down versus time going right and left, and they're color-coded by their frequencies. And so everything in red is a tire speed related vibration, and then you can see engine could be green or pink and so on. All right, if we click done, then we're just back to the vehicle view screen. Now, while we are here, we can, if you look at the bottom of the screen, notice there's a view recordings button. So if we click on view recordings, if we scroll down to the bottom, here's my recording I just did, and we can review the entire road test right here on the screen. So it says tap anywhere to control playback. It tells us that at the bottom of the screen. So I'll tap. Notice it brings up a play button, and now it'll just step through and replay the entire road test procedure. There's a forward arrow button that'll bring us ahead 1 second at a time. There's a double arrow button that brings us 5 seconds ahead at a time. And there's a view analysis to look at the report again, or we can export it. We can email it. We can email a CSV file for Microsoft Excel. It lets us email any of these road tests. Now, if we go back to the list of recordings, I've got a number of recordings I've done here. If you push and hold on one of those recordings, it brings up the option to delete the file, rename the file, email the file, or view the automatic analysis one more time, and of course cancel. So that is the road test procedure. It's pretty quick. Just a quick summary wrap-up of what the road test is. You enter the vehicle information, tell it what year, make, model, tire size, and so on. And then you tell it to start recording. You set the app up on your dash and drive, and it will record while you're driving. Bring the vehicle up to the speed where it's vibrating, and then go back to your shop. Hit stop recording and review the analysis and see what needs to be done. And not only that, but follow the step-by-step instructions in the help file that will guide you through the diagnostics here. So that is the NVH app. Oh, there was one other thing. You may have noticed that I set the phone in direct sunlight. It's a pretty hot day today. The direct sunlight on the phone got it so hot that the phone gave us a warning of it was too hot and to cool it down. And so I cooled it down, and then I put a napkin, a paper napkin, over the screen to keep the sun from blaring down on it and overheating it. If you're in a hot climate, I can see that may be an issue, and that you may just need to put a piece of paper over it to cover it up while you drive to prevent it from overheating. All right, thanks for watching.